And to learn more about World Heart Day and find out more about heart conditions and how can we keep our hearts healthy and strong, we have cardiologist Dr. Renan Sukmawan here in our studio. Good evening, Dr. Renan. Thank you for coming back to the studio.
Thank you. Good evening, guys.
Yes, it's good to have you here. Look at your batik.
Yeah.
It's got hearts, organs all over the batik. It looks amazing.
This is our department, batik, actually.
Ah,
Just,
nice color.
just to tell everybody to maintain, to aware that this is the one that you have to really care about.
Yeah.
Because this is the leading cause of death caused by heart disease. And the disease is preventable.
Right.
We have
Yeah.
we have many things to what we call as many way to prevent that. We can treat it, and then, but again, everybody has to aware about the heart disease.
I don't know about you, Kai, but every time I talk about my heart gets kind of racing a little bit because I do
Does it
get
make
a
you
little
nervous?
bit. It does kind of make me a little bit nervous.
And you question yourself, am I healthy? Is my heart beating at a normal rate?
Yeah.
Too fast? Is it too slow?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
I know the way your
you
mind works.
Sometimes I need to, let's get down to the basics a little bit, doctor. So why is maintaining a healthy heart really vital to our health?
Yeah, again, as mentioned to you, because this is the most disease that kill people around the world, right?
Yeah.
So in Indonesia, for example, we have 600,000 people having death due to heart disease. Better to us to name heart disease to cardiovascular disease. It's really related to each other. Cardio means heart, vasculature. So cardiovascular disease attribute to 600,000 deaths every year, and half of them causing by coronary heart disease, such as heart attack, as you know, everybody know. And the things that may cause heart attacks is coronary artery disease. Is preventable. It's preventable. Again, we do have make good prevention, then we can we'll be able to prevent death from cardiovascular disease in our community.
Well, so that means education is very
Yeah,
important
that's true.
and noticing the symptoms, right?
Yeah.
So what are actually the risk factors that can affect a heart condition?
Yeah, it has been described elsewhere, right? So we have 5 traditional, we call it traditional risk factors: hypertension, diabetes, cholesterol, smoking, and what we call family history. The history of sudden cardiac death in the young ages in the family, and this may also related to the heart disease or attack in the community.
Okay, and sorry?
This is that we call traditional risk factor. There are other non-traditional risk factors, such as inactivity.
You're not exercising the heart.
So, and lifestyle that may cause, and also food, things about that, and also, obesity. Yeah, that's the thing that also has been known elsewhere, everywhere. Everybody knows that. It's better to prevent that, to improve our lifestyle, then in the which is in turn will also prevent from heart disease.
While we're on the subject of non-traditional
Yes.
factors that can affect, heart health, so what is the role of diet and adequate sleep in maintaining a healthy heart? And perhaps another factor that you mentioned was exercise as well, or an activity of the body. Why is exercise important in maintaining the heart?
Yeah, you mentioned about many things. First, diet.
Oh yeah.
It's very important to keep our diet good, right? We have needs more vegetables and fruits. Reduce our saturated fatty acid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Trans
Trans
fatty
fat.
acid. And then about exercise, this is very important to keep our body. Exercise may reduce your blood pressure. May also leading to reduce inflammation. Those things are related to coronary heart disease. So when you control your body with good exercise, you reduce your inflammation, and with turn with blood pressure, and then keep your heartbeat better in terms of rhythm and rate.
Ah.
So people who are good exercise, they will have slightly lower heart rate baseline.
Okay.
But yeah, but we have like our normal heart rate between 60 to 100, right? But for those have regular exercise like athlete, they would have heart rate around 60 or 70. But who doesn't have enough time for exercise or not as good habits as that, and then will have heart rate more than 90 or something.
Okay.
So that's the fact. So it's very, very good to have exercise, guys.
Yeah, it sounds like.
What about sleep?
That's the other thing. So,
Excuse me.
Okay. Are you okay?
dry, okay. Sleeps also will related to increase. Some study says that will increase to heart rate. Sometimes get irregular, and some study will say related to the things that we call cortisol.
Yeah.
Increase the cortisol will certainly impact the blood pressure. Although this chronic things, so doesn't mean that if you have lower time for sleeping today and will affect directly.
Okay.
So it's a chronic things that's not good for your body.
So it shouldn't be a habit. It shouldn't be a habit like us. Oh, look at his face. He's already panicking. But
6 hours at least.
6 hours at least. Okay.
6 hours. 6 hours at least. No.
What if you kind of like don't have a consistent sleep though? So let's say for example, you have 8 hours, but then on 1 or 2 days during the week you only have 4 or 3 hours.
I don't have any evidence on direct impact.
Okay.
But again, this habit, okay, it's better to have a really constant time of sleeping, whether it's between 6 to 8, and then in between, so to keep your body keep healthy and again to blood pressure and heart rate always stable. That's very important.
Okay.
So you mentioned cortisol before, which is a stress hormone,
Yes,
right?
that's
So what in terms of stress? I mean, there's a lot of stress. There's the external factor stress when your body is already stressed, right? Physical stress. How does that affect our heart health?
Yeah, we have what we call autonomic nervous system, right?
Okay.
There is directly affected by the cortisol. Yeah, if your heart rate is increased, then your heart rate will be increased, and which in turn will increase your blood pressure.
Right.
So really correlated in some studies prove that, and it's better for us to also having this constant heart rate and also controlled blood pressure.
So if we're stressed, usually our heart beats faster, right? Is that?
One thing about stress, there are possibility of increased heart rate and also blood pressure, and there are things that may in turn to affect your heart health as whole is the irregular beat, arrhythmia. That's another thing. There's another. We can talk about in whole about arrhythmia. Arrhythmia means there are possibility if you have increase of cortisol, then you will have a higher chance of having arrhythmia. I mean dysrhythmic of your heartbeat. So there's not regular anymore. That's also bad for your heart. Because it may have the worst thing for those with irregular heartbeat is stroke.
Stroke.
Yeah, certainly. If you have arrhythmia, irregular heartbeat, there is possibility of your blood tend to may cause clot of your blood, and that will ensure if you then this what you call emboli will go everywhere. And what the worst thing happens is if the blood clot going to your brain, and this will cause what we call ischemic stroke. That's not good for your body.
Okay. And obviously, people with high risks of heart diseases, they tend to be, or at least from what I observed, they tend to be recommended to use smartwatches with the
heart rate monitor.
with the heart rate monitors, I should say, not smartwatches. How effective is that, actually?
Yeah.
And what notes should we take if we have that?
Yes.
That's very, very good, I think. If you have that smartwatch, we can see if you have regular heartbeats. Regular means it doesn't necessarily you have stable heart rate, right?
Okay.
Because when you have exercise, then the heart rate will increase. if you're sleeping, the heart rate will decrease. But the pattern, you can see directly, just like you see ECG, right? The pattern of heart rate will be regular. This is the thing that we want to see from your smartwatch. But if you don't have that, you can do it by yourself by touching your, we have program in our society, in the cardiovascular society, called Menari. Means you have to detect your radial artery and see whether whether your heartbeat is regular or not. So just try to connect to like, okay. And if if okay.
No, mine is not.
Really?
No. You don't have to worry about that.
No, because I'm trying to like
Yeah,
try to be.
yeah.
Then there's mine is like 1, 2, and then.
Okay.
Is that arrhythmia? So what is the health? What is considered? What pattern is considered?
If you can easily touch your radial artery, right?
Right.
And if you think, for example, in 1 minute, there are some irregular beats there, faster and slower, or some like spike. Then you have to, but you don't have to panicking, because panicking may increase your heart rate.
Right.
It's kind of
And risk of arrhythmia.
Then if you think this is regular for you, and sometimes you can feel that, then just come to our cardiologist and see your ECG.
Wow.
Okay.
Well,
But don't worry, I don't want to make you scared anyway, but this is quite rare actually.
it should
Yeah.
be. But I heard now, but it's yeah. But I've always thought about. I've always wanted to ask about arrhythmia, but maybe we have this like a specific topic on a day.
Yeah, that's true.
But since it's World Heart Day, we know that men and women have different anatomies and different biological, I don't say functions, but the way they function, slightly different. Is there a difference in heart care between men and women? Or are there different risks for men and women at maybe certain times of their specific life milestones or something?
Yeah, that's true. In overall, if you talk about epidemiology, the numbers, the percentage, I would say it's similar. But one thing is for women, they do have some advantage over the male.
Oh.
Yeah, when you still have menstruation, then you have a good vessels, tend to have good vessels because you have good estrogen hormone.
Yeah.
That will prevent your blood vessel to become like hypertension or something. So they would have good effect on your blood vessels for female. But again, when you have menopause, and when it is,
You are at
then
higher risk.
That's the other, what we call another risk factor for female.
Ah, so menopause is another risk factor for females because the lack of, the sudden drop of
Sudden
estrogen.
drop of estrogen, and then there has some correlation between the
So
incidence.
pregnant women, they also have less estrogen.
No, I mean
Sorry.
in
Pregnant women
the short time, right? But
Yeah.
what we call is menopause is definite
Yeah,
time.
definitely, because it's a milestone.
Yeah.
Huh.
And
Interesting.
interesting indeed. And from
I'm
what I
nervous
You have your advantage over us, right?
for now.
And from what I've read as well, there are differences in symptoms for heart diseases between men and women. Is that correct?
Not necessarily about that, but again, if we call about heart disease, there are lots of types of cardiovascular disease, whether this is valvular heart disease, I mentioned before, right?
Yeah.
Valvular heart disease, this is arrhythmia, this is another also cardiomyopathy. We have also congenital heart disease. So the thing that people always talk about is coronary heart disease. Coronary disease means the incident of atherosclerosis that may leading to heart attack. So a pattern, I would say, quite similar, but depends on the level of pain. Some people would say I get chest pain, but some say coming with quite unusual symptoms, but they have heart attack. So there's some people who has very low threshold of chest pain. They would just rather have coming with chest pain.
Yeah.
Some would say with dyspnea. Some say so. It's very important if somebody has like symptoms of something unusual in the chest, and then with autonomic symptoms like sweating, even nausea, then you and you have risk factor.
Yeah.
Yeah, risk factor as mentioned before. Then you can come to clinic, to ER, and see whether this is a heart attack. But again, you don't have to worry if you don't have, if you're younger age without any heart risk factors, then you don't worry. Sometimes the symptoms like, for example, like gastric problem.
Yeah, sometimes people can't tell the difference between gas or is it the heart.
Yeah,
because it's usually also in the chest, right?
Yeah. In both, right? But again, if you do have like risk factors, better to you to have regular checkup, annual checkup, and everything. Because nowadays, I personally has younger people coming to me with heart attack. Really?
Stress factors.
Well, no. And for male, in Indonesia, they do have more smoker, I think.
Oh.
My record, I was a record, is 23 years old with heart attack. Female with 23 years old, heart attack because of risk factors only smoker.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Look at him holding his
don't
heart.
scare. But again, you have to recognize whether you do have left vocal risk factor or not.
Well, Doc, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
shedding the light, for reminding us to take care of our hearts
Yes.
physically and the emotional state so that we don't get too stressed, right? So healthy lifestyle
Relax
is key.
and keep healthy life.
Sleep, miss.
Yes.
Sleep.
Lots of sleep.
So, Doc, thank you so much for
Thank you
coming
again.
and happy Heart Day.
Thank you.
And I have to commend though, amazing batik.
Can I stand up?
So yes.
Thanks,
Amazing
okay.
batik. So just to remind us that it is
Very important to
cardiovascular health need to be, we have to be aware of those.
Yes,
Thank
that's
you
true.
for
Thank you.
continuously educating
Thank
us.
you.
Thank you so much.
Have a nice time. Have a nice day.
Of course, yes. So, see the stories will continue after the break, and we're still going to talk about good heart conditions. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned with us.
Okay.